So up next, we have Caitlan from our SEO team. We have a fantastic SEO team here in Wolfgang. One of the things that they need to do is live in the future. So they spend a lot of time trying to understand not just how to optimize for organic traffic now, but how our activities are going to impact future changes within the search ecosystem. So please put your hands together for Caitlan.
Hope this microphone works, yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Caitlan, thank you. And yeah, I'm from the SEO team, I'm the client lead here at Wolfgang, and I'm going to talk about how retailers, you guys, can optimize for AI, a lovely beast of a topic. Obviously search marketing is a big part of a retailer's strategy. It's a very important part, both the organic and the paid side. And I'm sure you guys know Google specifically, the way in which it displays information, the way in which people use it to search is constantly evolving. But with the explosion of AI in the last year, with the likes of ChatGPT and the likes of Google's Gemini, that's set to change quite a lot as well, the way in which people search and find products on Google. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Just to show you like how much the SERP has evolved for a typical shopping search over 10 years. Not only is it a lot more easy on the eye, but it's a lot more visual, it's a lot busier, but it's a lot more specific, and it really encourages the user to refine their search and personalize it. Namely all these specific product attributes that are showing, really kind of encouraging users to search for specific attributes and USPs of a brand. And we've really gone from searching keywords to searching conversationally. I know when I'm looking to buy runners, not to pretend I even run, but if I was to buy runners, I wouldn't be searching buy runners online anymore. I think I'd be searching, questions of what are the best runners to run outside, or what are the best runners to run in the gym, blah, 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 blah. Maybe about different colours, if it's from an Irish business and so on. And studies have shown that actually 70% of searches are now long tail, and long tail searches tend to have a much higher conversion rate than generic keywords. So keeping conversational search and this shift in how people search in mind, and this brings us to Gemini. I'm sure some of you may know what Gemini is. So formerly known as Bard, Gemini is Google's kind of answer or comeback to ChatGPT, and this was released last year. And Google is going to basically be incorporating AI chatbots into the Google search, or making it an option anyway for searchers in the coming year or months. It's actually been rolled out in the US, and this is what it looks like. It's really embracing conversational search. It's encouraging users to have a conversation in order to find what they're looking for. So it's really kind of bringing that user all the way down the funnel until they're ready to convert, and that's when they click on a site to then buy a product. Now, there's one kind of glaring red flag for, at the whole research phase, the user's just going to stay on Google. Google's going to take our information and show it to the user without actually giving us the click, which is a bit of a red flag if you're investing in SEO, which is very kind of research stage focused. But as if poor SEO doesn't get enough stick in the retail world, so it kind of begs the question of like, what's the impact this is going to have on your search performance? Without a doubt, if people actually do adopt this way of searching, there's no saying that they will. Like, I think as marketers we can get really hyper-focused on these new things, but like, I think for so many years, I think by now 50% of us were meant to be using voice search. I don't know if that's actually happened, but I don't think so. So yeah, it begs the question of like, what's the impact this is going to have on organic performance, and should you still be investing in SEO? But like, important thing to note is that AI has to get this information from somewhere. It has to tell the user where it's getting that information from and give you that reference. So it's going to be important to still be visible and still ranking within the AI chat search. And even more importantly, whenever that user is ready to convert, when they've had this hyper-personalized conversation with Google, and they're really, really warmed up and ready to convert, you want to make sure that you're the one that's ranking within that chat as well at the bottom of the funnel. Studies have shown as well that the importance of actually just being present along the buyer journey. And the study done by Google said that even just by being present along the journey, 30% of users could be enticed to choose a different brand than what they were initially looking for. So making sure that you are present along that search journey is still really, really important. So how do we get that reference from Google? How do we rank in that AI chatbot space? We at Wolfgang and the SEO team have spent a long time trying to figure out how to rank our clients' websites to please Google's algorithm. And the incorporation of this AI technology is going to change the way in which search engines read and understand our content. So therefore, we need to adapt our strategies as well. So how do we future-proof our sites for AI and the evolving search landscape? We've been running some tests to try and see is there any kind of common features in sites that Google's AI ranks and refers websites or prefers websites, what kind of websites they are. We ran loads and loads of tests. We got access to a VPN where we searched in the US and saw kind of what kind of searches trigger Gemini and what does it look like. And we kind of analysed what are the top ranking websites across loads of different industries, across the funnel as well. And we tried to pinpoint any common features within those websites. And one glaring common thing that kept showing up was all these websites ranking in Google's chatbot functionality are websites with schema. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to get too technical. I know I tend to lose the room if we start talking about schema or structured data. That's Ian there. He loves schema. Ian's been preaching the word of schema for years now, and finally he's having his day of redemption. Schema is basically code, and is essentially, in a nutshell, it's the language that AI speaks, it's the language that search engines speak. And just referring back to the example of today's SERP that I showed you, it's a way of explicitly telling search engines what are the different product attributes and USPs of our business, and that kind of match these kind of things that people are using more and more within their searches. It's a way, AI is smart, but it's not actually that smart. It doesn't technically know the difference between a green apple, a red apple, or an Apple iPhone. And our content, the words on the page, will help them understand that. But schema is code, as I said, that AI speaks, and that will explicitly get rid of any sort of ambiguity as to what our product is and why it should be matched with a user's search. So, to give an example of this in action, shout out to Tien from Middleton Distillery Collection. This is one of our SEO clients. They are an online D2C alcohol retailer. They sell some of Irish distillers' top whiskey brands. And they came to us and they had launched a brand new website, and they needed to break into a really competitive online alcohol market. You can imagine the kind of competitive landscape on search. They're up against the likes of Tesco and Asda as they sell in Ireland and the UK. So we needed to come up with an SEO strategy that would really stand out in the eyes of Google and AI and optimize their site to get rid of any sort of ambiguity and make sure that Google knew that Middleton was a really strong brand and had all these specific attributes that it should be ranking for on Google. So we used Ian's approach of a schema-centered strategy. And this is the results that we saw within a year. We saw over a 900% increase in organic revenue and really massive increases in traffic and impression share as well. And this kind of strategy with schema, optimizing for AI, not only has a benefit for your organic search, but we've also seen correlations in impacting your paid search performance, particularly within your shopping campaigns, something which I know is a massive source of sales for retailers. We've seen correlations of implementing schema on your site and optimizing your site for SEO in this way, and then a reduction in shopping ad disapprovals in Google Merchant Center. So that's one of the big ways in which we've started future-proofing our client sites for AI and the change in how we search. But as we talk about search and e-commerce and retailers, there's another kind of shift in search behaviour that we want to touch upon, and that I think we can't ignore. And that's Gen Z and how TikTok is the new search engine. I'm sure everyone's kind of heard of that. There's loads of stats going around as well, about 40% or something. And it's quite interesting to even see how Google seems to be shaking in their boots a bit, trying to get ahead of this and actually try and partner up with TikTok to roll out features across the two platforms. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but it's really interesting to see that this is potential. And even looking at TikTok itself, there's been every month we see new features that are likening features that we'd see on Google. TikTok is just completely aggressively trying to get people to use it as a search engine. They even have TV ads, above the line campaigns running as well, and really positioning them as a search engine for inspiration. And TikTok, obviously I think we all know by now it's a key part of your social strategy, but it's really going to become a key part of your search strategy as well. We're seeing TikTok show and rank, or Google give preference to TikTok. Now, forgive the example of the cow, but that's TikTok ranking in Google's chatbot AI feature, which is very interesting. And we're also seeing TikTok rank in the shopping landscape, in the paid ad side of things as well. So, before I finish off, what's the most important part of your TikTok strategy? How do you get ahead and do TikTok well? Well, it's all about your creative. And that brings me to Caitlan, who's going to talk about creative as a performance driver.